are still fissures in the Hindu community. There is a serious caste divide. And if Yogi wins tomorrow with 300 seats as projected by a few exit polls, then it also breaks the myth that the Hindu is a very divided society in that sense. But to create a Hindu unity at an all India level, where Hindus can think alike, vote alike, and move alike. That's how the Hindu Rashtra is all about. I'm not getting into the nuances of the Hindu Rashtra, what Golwalkar has written in his book. I'm not getting into that, or what even the Balasaheb Devras has talked about it. So let's leave it there. I think it is unfinished agenda. Somebody else has to finish that agenda, and Modi is
agenda.
Agenda means what?
Agenda is a
narrative. You have a problem with agenda. You take the word narrative. You replace it by ideological objective. You take the word like utopia, whatever you feel like. I just use the word agenda, not in a negative sense.
Ashutosh, in the last 8 years,
utopia and every ideology has an utopia. Mind it. Communist Party has a classless society. So the BJP and the RSS has a Hindu society or a Hindu Rashtra. That's the utopia.
Wrong.
Okay, there are a couple of problems with this, but okay, let the experts get in. Yes, Mr. Rajagopalan, yes, and then after that, Dr. Ranganathan. Yes.
I totally disagree with Ashutosh. The reason being, Ashutosh lives in 1950, 1960 era. He is not in 2022 or 2030. The third thing is, there are 8 or 9 line of leadership in BJP created by RSS. And Yogi Adityanath fits in 4th or 5th. There are 2 or 3 more seniors to him as per your Ashutosh's argument of Hindutva. And even in Vijayadashmi speeches, if you heard Mr. Mohan Bhagwat, he never said about this, his inclusive politics of Muslims. As Anand Ranganathan said, you see one place where a Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is vitiated. Therefore, you have to think other angle also, Rahul. The depleting and decimation of Congress is also helping Modi, Yogi, RSS, Amit Shah. The urban Naxals type of things, what Narendra Modi has often been saying, he's also, even in the parliament speech, he said about Tukde gang. So therefore, these are all certain things which help Mr. Yogi, Amit Shah and Mr. Mohan Bhagwat with Narendra Modi. If you see this triumph, you wait and watch. Yogi Adityanath will definitely be a force to be reckoned with, but after Amit Shah.
Well, the concept of Hinduness here seems to worry a lot of people. I don't understand why that is the case. It doesn't mean that you will become some sort of a bigoted state.
No,
in fact,
absolutely. And very quickly, Rahul, if I may just make a couple of points, just adding on to what Mr. Rajagopalan said. Ashutosh, just 10 seconds. He's bang on, because RSS, far from having this so-called Hindutva agenda, RSS to keh raha hai Hindu Muslims ka DNA ek hai. If at all, this government has discriminated, my dear friend Ashutosh, it has discriminated against Hindus. Only Hindu temples, Hindu places of worship are in government control. They are reaching billions of Hindus. Number 2, एक स्कीम आप बता दीजिए जहां पे योगी ने डिस्क्रिमिनेट किया हो. मैं अभी भी, it's an open challenge. The fact is, Ashutosh, people have realized. और ना एक और बात, इतने सारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अमेंड किया, मोदी ने एक बार किया अमेंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को, वो भी सब पार्टीज ने जब कहा SC/ST एक्ट को वो करने के लिए, इट वेंट ओवरटर्न द सुप्रीम कोर्ट वर्डिक्ट. अदरवाइज, इफ इट वांटेड, like Congress overturned the Shah Bano verdict to appease the Muslims, did Modi appease Hindus? Did it overturn the Sabrimala verdict? No. The facts do not agree with you, Ashutosh.
Okay.
Can I
respond? Yes. Respond. Yes.
See, Anand, there can be always a two opinion about a Hindutva. You are talking about, you are quoting Mohan Bhagwat. He's talking about the DNA. If you read the original text of Golwalkar and Hedgewar and B.S. Munje and others, they think that India is a Hindu society. Culturally, yes. So if Mohan Bhagwat is saying that the Hindus, everybody in this country has the same DNA, he is not saying something different. Rather, he's talking in the modern scientific sense. Point number one. The point number two, when you are talking about all the government projects have been going equally to the every community, I think this is the only party in this country who, out of all candidates, the parliament doesn't give a ticket to the Muslims. In UP, doesn't give ticket to the Muslims. So you are trying to disenfranchise Muslims of the political system. That's what Golwalkar said. That the Muslims
wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Sir, let me complete. I didn't disturb you. So you are disenfranchising Muslims from
Bal Thackeray was disenfranchised, Ashutosh. Bal Thackeray was done. BJP did not help him. Talk about Muslim.
My dear friend, I did not disturb you, so let me complete. You disagree with my point. I have no problem with that. So you don't find even one Muslim candidate to be winnable in out of 385 candidates.
Look, let me just step in here for 30 seconds.
You are not discriminating.
Okay.
So what is the agenda is? Agenda is simple. I'm saying the utopia is simple. So when that will come, that unfinished utopia, who is going to finish? Obviously, Yogi fits into that.
No, I mean, what is it? What is it that you are professing will happen?
If you read We and Our Nationhood defined, it's very clearly written.
But
that the Hindus should be treated like a second.
That original ideology has undergone several reiterations and iterations and has been now modified into something quite different from the times it was written in. You know that better than anyone else, Ashutosh ji.
Rahul, if you read the statements of the BJP MLAs and the top leaders, you will realize this. You will realize this. From Tejaswi Surya to Dumariaganj MLA, their sentence statement is almost similar.
No, but Ashutosh ji, there are enough. Look, you know, there are obviously people who spew hate, and they're on both sides. I mean, do you think Boti Masood ji, who is today Akhilesh's grand hope in Western Uttar Pradesh, is less of a communalist? I mean, let's not reduce this.
Very quick point.
Okay, very quickly. I need to move on. Yes.
Yes. No, I think Ashutosh has, brought to the table a very important point that should be discussed perhaps at a much larger, broader canvas. Because what he says is actually true, factually correct. But I also put it to Ashutosh that if you look at Goa, the Goa Christian population is 26% and the number of BJP candidates are 31% Christians. So it is not just a minority problem that BJP has. The BJP has a Muslim problem and the Muslims have a BJP problem. And it is a vicious cycle that keeps on being fed by this misinformation that people allay about BJP, and BJP kind of feeds into it. This is something that has to be tackled. I agree with you, Ashutosh. But please don't say that BJP has this across the spectrum. That is not the case.